Have you ever wondered if you should be doing events or local markets for your own business? Well, today it's the Thornton Adele show, and we thought it'd be fun to take you guys along, and you can see behind the scenes how we do it all. So it's just before 5 a.m. and I had to take a vacation day from my day job to do the event today, so a great way to spend it. I've got my cup of Columbia Single Origin on the go. Get that down me, wake me up a little bit. And then we will start loading up the car, and then we need to be set up and ready to go by 8:30 a.m. So it's quite a lot to do before the day even really gets started, to be honest. Okay, so feeling a little bit more set up and ready to go now. Coffee, drank, showered. It's 10 to 7, so we need to get going shortly. We want to be there for about 7:30, and then we've got an hour to get it set up and be ready to go. Car's almost completely loaded. We've got our sample selection boxes. They're always massively popular at the events. All of the coffee, Hessian sacks and so on. I'll talk this through when we get there, but we're going to load up the last few things, and yeah, then we'll get going. All right, we are fully set up, and we'll do a quick walk around. Tash, you're gonna give us a tour, right? And let me turn the camera around. Okay, so talk us through the setup, Tash, what we got.
Well, you need to come around this side really, don't you?
All right, that's true. All right, so talk us through, where do we get everything from? What we made ourselves? What do we buy online?
We had these crates from when I've done pottery markets and fairs, and we painted them black.
Where did we get them from? Amazon?
In the US.
Oh, okay.
They came with us. They're probably from Target.
Yeah. All right, Target crate. Can't buy those in the UK,
and
but
this is probably Target, but you can get these crates
yeah.
anywhere. And then we just painted them with a black stain because I think everything was a bit brown. And
yeah,
it looks way
it gives
better.
a bit of contrast, given the bags are brown.
Yeah.
To have black breaks up the table a little bit.
And then we got these giant black tablecloths just off of Amazon, and they're amazing because it's enormous, so you can fit any size table.
Those little weight things are MVP, because we did an event and it was blown everywhere. It was horrendous. Where did you get them? They were IKEA, right?
IKEA.
Yeah.
And then the chalkboards, we love those. We've maybe got too many now, but
We just do the chalkboards with like a chalk pen. So we've got like a tombstone.
if it rains,
But if it rains, yeah, it runs everywhere. That is a risk.
So
we have to bring them in. Prices and so on here. And then we've got an A-board just for a bit of presence in the thoroughfare. Where did we get the sign printed from?
I can't remember. It's the same company who did a little yard sign and then the back one.
So we got all the signs from the same company.
Yeah, I wanted
I'll
a
link
great
that in the
big
description.
flag, and the flags were extortionately expensive, so I got that, which was called a yard sign.
Yeah.
And it's actually awesome. We love it.
Yeah, so that little guy is a yard sign, and we think that's the right size for these sort of events. Too big, it kind of gets in the way of everyone and winds people up. And then the tables, where do we get the tables from?
Amazon, baby.
Amazon tables. There's 3 tables under here, right? We've got...
Yeah, 2 of them are from the US. They're all just different versions of folding
dog.
tables.
The one thing to watch out for with these tables, though, because obviously you get the cheaper ones, is they tend to bow in the middle. So we've had issues. We put the sample boxes in the middle now because it sags.
We used to bring the cormorant sample roaster with us, but we had to stop doing that because of the weight issue.
And a space.
And the space.
Doesn't fit in the car.
Talk us through what we got over here, Tash.
So we bring our grinder from home so we can grind everything, because a lot of people don't have grinders.
That's a shop grinder, right?
Yes.
A dip DK30, so that's for doing the grinding the beans. If someone wants ground coffee, we open it up here. We've got whole beans on the stand over here. We grind them up if people want it, and then we've got the bag sealer to seal it afterwards, so it doesn't leak everywhere in their bag.
We've got an electric generator, the Blue Yeti, as we're trying to be as green as possible.
Well, and it's not noisy and doesn't stink either.
Not noisy.
It's just basically a massive battery pack. We probably get, it lasted full day, but at the end of the day, for grinding, we probably do 50-50, I would say, a normal event. It changes, but 50% ground, 50% whole bean. And grinding 50% of our orders. So it probably does about 20 grinds, doesn't it? Before it starts to run out.
It will grind everything we need. What drains it is when we try and we brew filter coffee, and that absolutely smashes the battery. So we're pinching some power from the secretary's office. But what I was going to say is this: it struggles to get going on that generator for some reason. So we have to turn it on first and then pour the beans in. If you pour the beans in first and then turn it on, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's like I think it's something to do with a surge. Like, so when you first turn the grinder on, it surges in power, which trips the power bank, the generator, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, turn it on first, then pour the beans in, and it grinds just fine.
And then we have 2 of these great big jugs, thermal jugs. So we've brewed filter coffee, and then we have that for people to sample. It's essential, whatever.
We didn't always have those, did we?
Well, the very first one we did was not good because nobody could try anything. So whatever you have to taste will be whatever you sell the most of. So we put 2 on. Generally, we try to go for 2 things that are quite contrasting in flavour so people can see the difference. And then little teeny cups. And we bring a little bit of milk, tiny bit of sugar, but often people just drink it black.
Yeah, we always pick up, like, people are really apologetic when they come round to try coffee. They'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Is it okay if I have sugar? Or is it okay if I have milk?" Like, we're going to judge them for enjoying coffee the way they want to, but there we are. Spare stock over here, right? Just a couple of tubs. So we'll get those out and lay them up. Oh, and little bags, which so this is just on the front here. We just bought a custom stamp. I think I linked it in another video actually, but I'll do it again here. We just stamp them ourselves, so they're compostable, recyclable, whatever. And I think people just like having a bag. We got a couple of sizes actually, again from Amazon. So we got some bigger ones, smaller ones.
They're not great. I would not buy again.
They're not particularly robust. It works well enough for coffee. This little guy is what we brew our coffee samples in. So nothing extravagant. Worst case, we use the generator or the power bank, like Tash said. That using that power bank to generate heat is very inefficient. So events will usually try and find a plug socket in a pavilion or something like that, and that's what we did today. So that's about it. It's 9:30. Things will probably start to pick up around about 10:30 usually at these things. It's going to go on until, what time's it end today, Tash?
I don't actually know.
I think 4? It's 4 or 5 maybe. But we got a good location, I'll show you. So we're right by the event and stadium. Well, there's 2 here today actually. This is one of them. Next to a sweet shop and some gin. Yeah. Get underway.
We're done.
We're done. We are going home. We've packed up. We didn't film that because we thought it'd be super boring, as you already saw the setup earlier. Basically just the same in reverse. How was it, Tash? How was it?
It's been a good day. Turned out, sorry, dog. It turned out to be pretty overcast and got a bit chilly, and I think that put a bit of a dampener on it, but it was good.
Nah.
After lunch, it got madly busy.
I think it's perfect event weather. If it's too sunny, at least I think in our experience, if it's too sunny and we live near the coast, people like to go to the beach. If it's too rainy, they don't come out. This sort of overcast weather, when people aren't really sure what to do and they start Googling local events, I think that's when it's good. We had a good start in the morning. We had a rush of like a few people who own the other stalls and stuff, and a couple of locals regulars, and then it was quiet, wasn't it? And then after lunchtime, then it picked up. But contrary to what we expected, we had 2 coffees on sample today. We had the Ethiopian and the Brazil. We only ever put 2 on, otherwise it gets a bit overwhelming to both manage and then explain it to everybody. And we tend to put on samples of what we want to sell. And we over roasted on the Ethiopia, just a mistake. So we wanted to shift that today. We put the Ethiopia on as a sample. Yet we sold out of Colombia first. It wasn't even on to taste.
But we didn't have...
We had less of it.
We had half the volume of Colombia. So
Still, I went for anything else. I think we went through probably 70% of what we brought.
Yeah, it's good.
What was the best bit? What was the worst bit?
The worst bit is unpacking the car.
Oh yeah.
Because it's the last thing you want to do when you get home. And the best bit, I don't know.
Best bit was the lady.
The best bit was people coming back that had bought coffee at either the Malton show we did, or at they've ordered from us online, and they've come back saying we loved your coffee and they want to buy more. And that was the best thing.
And that's the thing, like, I feel like the events, it's not so much about the revenue, it's more about the marketing. Because even if someone doesn't buy the product, at least they know you're there, and then maybe they say to somebody else, oh, did you know that so-and-so business exists, and so on. And even better maybe if they buy something. I think it's the marketing that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
Do you think if someone's got a new business, do you think it's worth doing events? And if so, which sort of events do you think are best, Tash?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely, because otherwise people don't know that you exist. And there's people that live in the same village as us that still don't know. So essential. And it's just a relatively low cost way of getting your name put in front of a lot of people. And then what? Oh, but just do the big ones. I wouldn't go much smaller than this, because otherwise you just don't get the footfall, so you don't get.
It was for context today. I think there was 10,000 traffic or footfall people visiting the event, and it's ticketed. It was a priced event.
Yeah.
We do the local village ones as well, like in our village, and that's very successful because it's a local business. We've tried other village local fairs, even ones that are very close to us, and it's just not worth the hassle, honestly. You put so much effort in only to speak to, such a few people that were, a meaningful interaction. So, anything we'd do differently today in retrospect, do you think?
No. Bring more Colombia, that's it. Because we sold out of Colombia. But that was intentional because we needed to.
You needed to shift it.
Sell through on Ethiopia, which we also did. This was the first time we've done a bounce back voucher to give to people, and it's something we wanted to do.
What's a bounce back, Tash?
Hang on, it's about a bounce back is like a little leaflet flyer coupon we give to people only that have bought coffee, and it's saying that they can get 25% off if they order online. So that, and we'll see that coupon code being used, so we'll know if it's worked. But we wanted to do that. We talked about doing that at the very start of when we were doing these events, and this was the first time we actually got around to doing it. So
it's important because something that's bothered us about the events is we go to these events and we don't know the names of the people buying the coffee. So we don't know if we gained a new customer because of the event or just because they found us online.
Or rather, we don't know if they came back, if they buy again. And
that too, I think it's both things. We want to know if people came to the event and they bought coffee and they liked the coffee, did they like it enough that they came back to us. If they don't come back to us, then we don't get any redemption on the bounce back voucher code, then we know that for some reason people aren't liking the coffee or something, and we got to work out what's happened there. If they do come back, then we know their name and that we met them at the event, and then therefore next year it will allow us to quantify the value of the different events. And really, this is the only way that we could think of tracking that beyond capturing people's details, which is not, it's just not something you can really do at the event when there's only a couple of you there. I think you need a minimum of 2 people as well to do it, because you got to have one person talking, one person like bagging orders and taking payment, or if someone needs a bathroom break or something, that's important. That's about it really. Will we come again next year?
Yeah.
I think we will, won't we?
Yeah.
Just, it's a lot of effort. What's the time now? It's 6:30 in the evening. Like I said earlier, I had to take a vacation day or PTO from my day job to attend today. So it's like a lot of cost. I guess if it's not your full-time job, and a lot of effort from just before 5 a.m. in the morning to 6:30 at night, and then we've got to unpack when we get home and do all the cleanup, which is a nightmare. It takes ages. So go into it knowing the cost, I guess, and the value. How much did it cost today, the event?
£70.
It's £70. I think I'll do the numbers later as a separate bit, maybe tomorrow or something, and add it onto the video. But I think we probably did about £450 maybe of coffee. So it's pretty good. We definitely made the money back and covered the time we've been to worse events. So, all right, we're gonna drive home. That's it. Any questions or anything that we didn't cover? Leave us a comment below, and we'll try and answer it after the fact. Do like a follow-up short or something if the question's detailed, and then I'll skip ahead in a minute and cover all the costs and the final results. Right.
Cool.
See you later. Okay, so here I am back at the house after the show, and I wanted to pick up just a couple of things that we missed as we were talking through the setup, and then also cover how much we did on the day. So in regards to attending shows and how you get there in the first place, you tend to build up a list pretty quickly. In terms of attending them, you have to reach out to the organising body. I would do that quite far in advance, sometimes even up to a year in advance. So if you know that there's an event that you really want to attend, you should probably reach out to them sooner than later, if it's a long way away, just so you can secure your place. And there's a cost associated for this one, Thornton Ladale. I think it was about £70. It varies though. We did one show at Malton that was actually a little bit less successful, but only marginally, than the Thornton Ladale show, and that was over £100 for a stall. And of course, stall size and location and so on will impact that as well. But just to give you a rough idea, at least, you'll need a couple of things when you apply. They'll probably ask for these. One will be business insurance, so public liability insurance, in case something were to happen at your stall and you were to hurt or injure somebody. You'll need coverage for that. And I covered that actually in a different video about starting up the business, so go check that out if you haven't already. You might get asked for your EHO, your Environmental Health Officer certificate, for your food safety visit if you're a food business. They'll want to see a copy of that. And you might have to fill in some other bits and pieces, such as a risk assessment for how you're going to run your stall, and any risks that public or yourself might face whilst running the operation during the day. Other than that, just be wary of any competition. We found that a lot of established fairs have a lot of established vendors, and as a new vendor attending, we have to slot into the existing offer. So we are not allowed, in almost all cases actually, we're not allowed to sell coffee, as in the drinks that you would buy and sell, like a coffee van or a coffee machine. We can get around that with coffee samples, free coffee samples, which people seem to be okay with. But depending on your business, you might want to check that out. Find a way that you can slot into the existing model without competing with the established vendors. We also take cash or card payments. So you might want to think about that for your own stall. For card payments, there are a load of machines out there. For what it's worth, in my somewhat limited experience, I would try and get something that's a standalone machine that doesn't tether to your phone. We see lots of other vendors that use the cheap or free ones like Square and so on, and they're very temperamental. They're dependent on the Bluetooth connection, which can be slow, or your phone connection, which can be weak. We use a CardNet terminal that we got from Lloyd's. I think they quote £199 fee for getting one of those, but we didn't pay that. It came free when we opened the account and we opted into it. That's got its own SIM card, so its own network connection. It's never let us down, touch wood. So that would be my recommendation. Look into something with its own SIM card as a standalone device that's not connected to your phone, and it'll probably be better. We sold on the day, we did pretty well in comparison to some of the other events that we've done this year. In total, we sold £359 and 10 pence worth of products. Of course, there's going to be a 1.75% transaction fee for that aforementioned CardNet terminal that we use. And I would say 80% or more were card payments on the day. So bear that in mind. In my experience, people tend to favor card payment of these things. Breaking that down, though, into the products, we sold 11 bags of our signature Hinderwell blend. We have coffee sample selection boxes, which are a box of 3 times 100 gram sample bags of our different beans. And they're usually very popular, but we actually only sold 5 of those at this show. And I think it was more than double that at the Malton show we did a few months back. But not bad overall. They're £15 a pop, so £75 in total on sample selection boxes. And then for Brazil, which is always fighting for first or second place in terms of bestseller with our Hinderwell blend, at Brazil, we sold 8 bags of that at £9.50 each, so £76 in total. For our Colombia single origin, we did 7 bags of that. We sold that out completely. We didn't think we'd sell as much as we didn't have it on as a sample, but it went very well. People are in the mood for Colombia. 7 bags of that at £10.50, £73.50 altogether. And then last but not least, Ethiopia single origin. We sold 8 bags of that at £9.95 per bag, so a total of £79.60. There's not a lot of money in events and doing market fairs. That's something we came to terms with early on. I think if we were selling coffee drinks, espressos, cappuccinos, Americanos, whatever, I think we'd sell a heck of a lot more. The samples that we give away, I think, make a huge difference. And if you're looking to do this yourself, that would be my best advice. Make sure you have some kind of way for people to try the product before you buy. But really, as I've said earlier in the video, it's not about the money. It's about the opportunity to get face to face with as many customers as possible and get our name out there. And we did meet some very interesting people at the Thornton show this time around. And I hope that from those meetings, new business opportunities will grow over time. And if they do, then we'll certainly share it and let you know about them. So that's it. Hopefully you found that useful and enjoyed it. If you have, please give us a like, give us a subscribe, and leave us a comment. Let me know what other questions you have. What else can we tell you? Even if you're thinking about running a stall that's not selling coffee, I'm curious what you want to know or what we missed, and I'll certainly do my best to answer. Other than that, I will see you next time. Take care.